I didn't even know he was on. What do you do, y'all? It's Achilles or your boy Frank. I am playing Fortnite right now, and we're going to be talking to you today about jewelry or whatnot. And again, I'll give you my thoughts on jewelry. I know a lot of people are asking me what do I think about the market. I know a lot of people are asking me about like jewelry. Or what's wrong with jewelry nowadays. There are multiple components of good jewelry. What makes good jewelry? Like, you have hollow, semi-hollow, and solid, and all this type of stuff. The difference is appearance. The difference is the weight, or where it comes from. Pretty much where the weight is distributed at. You know, the sad thing about certain stuff, I definitely do agree with the sentiment, you get what you paid for. For the most part, like how I think about like jewelry too, if we had to be completely honest, it's an enterprise and where I feel like some people get taken advantage of. The jewelers are, you know, responsible, but sometimes they even get taken advantage of, and then they pass the cost on to you. And you overpaid for something and you didn't get the quality that you were promised. And you can't assure quality across the board and if you don't have a good case of quality control and good maintenance of your products that you have, like, or even an inventory or asset management department for a lot of these places is crap. To me, I'm not necessarily really worried about like a jewelry store or anything. I'm hoping that I get this apprenticeship against a person who's actually really done something, and they have a standard or whatnot. I'm not a chronic bullshitter. I'm just a straight shooter. I do what I need to do. I'm learning this, that, and the third. So I'm not really worried. I have a feeling that things are going to work out and for the better, for the good, and I want to be good. At what I do, which I already know. I see jewelry as a form of art, and to me, it's a pure form of expression, in my opinion. Like, a lot of people don't need to talk, but they do a lot more talking through their artistry or their work. And, you know, the sad thing about, like, all these establishments that I've applied to, people are not there for talent. That's just not me hating. I go off of what I observe. And oftentimes, truly speaking, I've been disappointed for the most part. Like, you do the legwork, you've done everything that you could, tooth and nail. You're fighting tooth and nail with things that actively discriminate against you. I mean, discrimination is out. Discrimination is bad, and we know why discrimination. We know why it's bad. But I'm not necessarily really concerned about certain things because at the end of the day, things are going to work out. Even if I don't see it now, it is what it is. I just know that I'm going to be successful. Know that I don't give up, which I'm not. One of the main components why I think a lot of businesses or places, their days are numbered. I'm not coming after people. I'm coming after the characteristics of business. Yesterday's ignorance is tomorrow's pain and suffering. So a lot of these businesses have not addressed the elephant in the room. And what I mean by that in pure form of expression is, truly speaking, a lot of the places they were asleep at the wheel when times were good. And then oftentimes they have more cash on hand than what they know how to do with it. And then also, too, they're not allocating and spending the money right. So at the end of the day, after a while, I already got a dub. I'm not necessarily really worried about getting dubs. I played ranked the other day and I was playing with my friends. They're not bad, but I know I can't play with them. Like, with their play style, it's not necessarily throwing me off. I feel like I'm a real aggressive player, but I'm only aggressive in my own little small little bubble. So I don't think they're bad. I know our chemistry and stuff is off. Our dynamic is off. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really make that much sense for me to try to explain that. And they're very good, don't get me wrong, but I know my dynamic and what I do, it throws the dynamic of what they have off. I mean, we're good, but again, we won like 3 ranked matches. I'm like silver 2. I'll never play ranked again because I don't think competitive gaming is for me, and that's not a career I'm going for. I know people say you're leaving money on the table. Not really. I think gaming definitely does express, people are talented with gaming. Again, I feel like a lot of people have to have the real conversation about what's actually doing this, that, and the third. And for some people, it's paying the bills, and sometimes people get tired of certain stuff. Like, I don't know too many industries realistically where people have gone and literally made a living off of it. I'm not saying people can't make a living off gaming, because that's actually true that people can make a living. But there's other sides to it that people are giving up way too much and they're receiving less and less in return. Someone probably like, what am I talking about? Like the other day, Myth did a thing about his rise and fall, but I don't think he necessarily fell off. But in the day, he paid his dues. He's a great gamer. He's definitely up there in the pantheon of great gamers, but at the end of the day, the market changed. Like Fortnite, everybody was playing Fortnite. Like, and again, I'm going to go back to what I was saying about jewelry or anything like that. Jewelry to me is creative. It gives you something to do. I mean, a lot of people do rip people off to a certain extent. Gold is going up to almost $2,200, so that's a fact. It's literally gone up to $2,200. What else can I tell you guys? Is it the ideal time to buy jewelry right now? I would say yes and no, because jewelry, it depends. Never buy anything more than SI and VS2. SI1 and VS2. And make sure the stones and stuff are GIA certified, because if you pay anything else or you don't have the cert for it, it comes to IGI. What they consider this, that, and the third is the difference between you paying, I would say, hundreds and thousands of dollars over than what something's worth. And then even they don't have a thorough process IGI. I just know. You go to GIA sets a standard, and even still, if we're talking about the oldest Gemological Institute, GIA is the second. The British Gem A is what you call it, the first gemology school. But GIA is the standard for diamonds and certain stuff like that. But Gem A is the more the, how could I put it this way? Gem A is the, what can I say? The more chemical and the more, like, geological aspect of certain stuff. Like, crystals form, like most gems have crystals, and the best crystals form in pegmatite schist. So I'm almost really done with my program, this, that, and the third. So if I'm a gemologist, I can do a lot of stuff. Like I can go to mines, I can go to my goal. I can go to 6 continents. That's why I chose it. And then I could be an actual jeweler, which I'm planning to do. But at a certain point, I'm moving to Singapore because if we're going to be completely honest, like the level of theft is going up at an astronomical rate. People saying, theft is just the cost of doing business. I don't think theft is the cost of doing business. We need to stop going and saying that and allowing that behavior across the board. If it's someone stealing food, food, they shouldn't be stealing food, for one. I feel like if you just ask for food, you should get it. But we're talking about a flat screen TV or something like that now. Another thing too that I've been thinking about is people saying that watches are investments. I would say for the most part it's not, because anything can go down. And I don't want to sound like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm alright, but I mean, games and everything about it is just been pretty bad from my personal experience. Um, Really, I don't want to go and basically say that, go out on a limb and say that all games or pretty much most industries have basically received, I would say, a decrease in, I say, productivity. I would agree to disagree with that one, primarily due to the fact that a lot of companies had to scale back what they're doing, even movie production. We want to talk about all these different films out here too. What we're showcasing, like I know, for instance, Grupo Forci, they're a high horology brand that basically makes. They basically push the convection of like whatever people basically think that tourbillon is, or a let's say escapement wheel, all this other stuff. I mean, you would really have to be a master craftsman to kind of understand. But I feel like there's so many iterations of what people do and what it exactly will look like for the future, and what watchmaking traditionally has said to be, and who's pushing the limits, and what is actually watchmaking, what's traditional watchmaking. Because watchmaking is one of those things where we haven't had that many good examples of a decent watch. Like, I know people have been obsessed with making the ultra thin watch. Richard Mille made the what do you make? He made the RM Up One Ferrari edition, and me, I'm a fan of Richard Mille, but I'm not a fan of that watch. It's just not for me personally. And for the price tag of $2 million or whatnot, frick. No one's necessarily going to buy that. Now, people will buy that. The thing is watching the Sapphire case. Like the RM5601. People will buy that. That's like, $3 million. Jay-Z, J Balvin, all those people have rare Richard Mills. So, I think personally, and how I think about watchmaking and watch design, is this stuff really worth the money? I would say no, but I know a lot of research and design went into certain stuff, like the succession rate of certain things is not that high. Like, to create a dial, research and design, a prototype, you throw away inventory, you test different things, you test the case, you test the durability. Most of these goods and items, or even gems in themselves, have durability problems. So the likelihood they're able to get, a good thing, or certain stuff, what that look like, is very few and far between. No differentiation, unfortunately. Wow, he got me, but I mean, that was a great game. Next, what I like to say about jewelry too, in terms of diamonds, I know people are saying that diamonds and certain stuff are overvalued. Their rareness and whatnot is artificially created. I would say, yeah, yes and no. Like, a diamond is only as good as what you pay for it. Do not pay, ever in your life, pay $19,000 for a 4 carat Uh, I2 or I1 stone. That's absolute crap. And at that, a J color. That's absolutely terrible. That's absolutely terrible. People pay absurd amount of money. If you look at that stuff at like an actual microscope, people say that, oh, this is diamond. Okay, what type of diamond? Let's be a little bit more pronounced and profound in our statement making. Because a lot of people will do that and like, oh, you know, this, that, and the third, using deception, and you're selling people crap. They're selling people crap. Like, for instance, people will go and claim that a diamond or certain stuff is natural green or whatnot. A lot of diamonds and certain stuff are not natural green. Like, it's very rare. Like, red diamonds and pink diamonds come from Argyle. They're not currently in production. Where they are in production is not for diamonds. Other gemstones stuff been found. So at the end of the day, they're still finding gemstones. It's just not literally that. Australia is like one of the top producers and top gemstones. If we're talking about like Boulder, Opal, all this stuff, they're number one. White opal makes up like commercial quality, this, that, and the third. Like, you can find a good opal. I would say people should find a good opal ring or certain stuff around $3,000 to $4,500. That's what I would charge for a ring, an opal ring. I'm not cracking people side the head, this, that, and the third. That's what I think it's worth. That's the ballpark figure. But the only thing about an opal, it definitely does have a durability problem. It can't be in a safety deposit box. You gotta keep it around moisture and this, that, and the third. You have a humidifier, all this stuff, so it doesn't get cracks and dents. Because if it's cracks and dents and certain stuff like that, it's gonna have this phenomenon or effect called crazing, where it's basically caused by moisture loss or this, that, and the third. So that's something people need to be on the lookout for. So, particularly for me with jewelry and gemology, I think that for the most part, a lot of stuff is really at the forefront of certain things. I just laugh. Then when I think about a lot of things, like, I don't like, to me, a lot of stuff is not about flexing. You don't have to flex your intelligence at all. You know, people try to do certain stuff that's an intelligent check. It makes them look bad when people try to do that. That's why you shouldn't rally that much or let so much information be conveyed. Because a lot of themselves they make themselves look bad in more ways than one. thing I'm still wondering about in terms on a day-to-day basis, really, is how bad stuff is about to get from a perspective of just business. For the end user, the end consumer, and the middleman. Like if someone says an item or whatnot, someone is basically bought up something, and there's a sign, let's say resale value or whatnot. A gray market, a secondary market generally determines if there is any type of validity in a primary market. We see this in the luxury watch space. We see this in the luxury, car space as well, automotive. Like we see that Ferrari has like a pre-owned thing, or pretty much anybody, for the most part, luxury vehicle base will go and say, here are a list of our vendors and whatnot. We're going from this, that, and the third, and we can certify that this is been this, that, and the third. But the only problem is with what is certified pre-owned and what does that actually mean? With a certified pre-owned, it comes with a warranty or whatnot, or something slapped on. They've basically redone and solidified everything that there ever was with the actual product in the first place. And then, secondly, after that fact, is that they're going to go back and verify everything, make sure everything is solid. They're going to go from there. And once they go from there, they send the stuff to whatever authorized place they want to choose, and they have to move the product. The only problem becomes then is that extra 25 to 30,000. Even certain stuff is extra 100,000 if we're talking about watches or whatnot. Like the Johan Blake. Johan Blake's a great athlete, 100%. I will say for the most part, like Johan Blake RM. At one point, it was like 400,000. Yeah, Johan Blake was a great athlete. Still is one. But, yeah, his watch was worth around $400,000, and today it's worth about $679,000. So at the end of the day, and if you go back pre-owned, I mean, you get gray. Gray's a little bit cheaper, but if you go to like a certified pre-owned place, it's going to be hover around the same price or maybe a little bit more. So at the end of the day, you have to go to the secondary, watch market, but you don't get the, you don't get the same quality assurance as you do from the actual certified pre-owned. And if you buy something pre-owned, please, I know a lot of people say it doesn't matter, please ensure like a bill of sale. And, a lot of people be buying stolen stuff, or they just don't know it, or something doesn't come back clean. If you have something, or a watch or something like that, a bill of sale to prove something wasn't stolen, and a great track record of somebody, make sure you always buy from a reputable person. I know that there's this guy. I watch a lot of people. And it's been suspected that I know there was this guy who was in the watch space. He lived in Beverly Hills, this, that, and the third, and he basically went around basically saying consigning people's timepieces or whatnot, and did a form. And sometimes he paid out people's money right away, and sometimes he didn't. And he wound up basically tattletelling and snitching. I mean, he should have. I mean, end of the day, it doesn't make it right or anything like that. He's going to prison, federal prison at that. But at the same time, he wasn't the only one, and then there was multiple people. Most of the people have done the same, or if not similar. And some of these people went to places where they had no extradition laws or whatnot, and they waited things out. and they came back and set up shop. Once a bad apple is a bad apple, there's nothing that anybody can say or do. Your name and reputation is a whole lot more valuable than money. And once your name or something is tarnished, you can't do that much about that. It's out there forever. So, I mean, I advise anybody, whenever people say or do certain stuff or actions, whatever we say or do or actions, we be mindful. And lastly, too, with a lot of stuff in terms of jewelry and watches and whatnot, please make sure it has box and papers or bill of sale. But I prefer box and papers. Someone said it doesn't matter. To me, it matters a lot. Like, you go in and saying that it doesn't matter, it's not actually idiocy at its finest. And, at the end of the day, you don't have box and papers, you're not going to get top dollar or something unless it's extremely rare. And pretty much, some people come lucky to a certain extent that a company or certain stuff like that will have archive papers for the exact model and year. That's such an outlier or whatnot. This, that, and the third. A lot of stuff's just not going to happen like that. So I feel like, with my knowledge of watches, this, that, and the third, I will say most companies right now who I'll consider top dog in terms of watchmaking is definitely not Rolex. 100% not Rolex. I will say Vacheron takes the cake for number one watch brand. In my opinion, they made the most complicated watch for one. And we're talking about class. I mean, if we're looking at other stuff, who I would say the most artistic or basically artistry in their own special way is Grubel. Grubel is like number one. Richard Mills is his own level. I would say, if we're going by tier level, Vacheron, and I would say, I would give them an analysis of something, or if not same, or ballpark figure of what I think it is and what it should be compared to. I'm going to say Vacheron is, let me think of something that's almost similar. I would say it's your fine steakhouse, like, a Brazilian steakhouse. That's what we're going to. It's your Brazilian steakhouse. Other stuff, you can't be so sure. Let's say, what's a good steakhouse? I mean, there's other steakhouse. I mean, you have Gibson's. That's in Chicago. That's a good steakhouse. I know they have Morton's. They have all this different type of stuff. Or, we put an emphasis on this, that, and the third. Or, I'm not going to keep comparing steaks. I'll just say a horse. Like, if we go a third and stuff like that, horse is pretty much the same caliber. Let's say with watches. Because, you have a different tier of, I would say, a species, basically. I feel like Rolex, they do okay. I mean, their class, their pedigree in a sense, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best. I mean, if you have to wait, I'd say 10 years for a stainless steel watch and spend upwards to, I'd say north of $80,000 of jewelry and certain stuff that you don't want, to be able to say that you buy from an AD, that, I would just pass. I'd rather just buy it from the gray market at that point. And people say all the stuff is going down. Like, honestly speaking, I know a lot of these watch dealers at the beginning of the year, 2022, people were saying that Lefty Sprite 126720 VTNR was $47,000, and today that junk is like $21,000 and dropping. I do not have a sniper. And that's so bad for me right now. I'll possibly play a few more games. I'm gonna watch some more watch stuff. Like, you know, with jewelry, I watch a lot of jewelry videos, and I watch a lot of people create rings and certain stuff like that. The only component that I think a lot of people haven't done is like CAD. Like I saw Burna Boy spend like $1 million on a custom chain. He had his childhood friend who died on a chain, and then he made another one. I think he had like he had an Igbo word on it or something like that, and he had diamonds or something like that, and he had like a statue so it remembers or something, or so to signify something in Igbo. And he paid $1 million for this piece. I mean, it's custom. I understand these people have to go and match diamonds, this, that, and the third, the GIA certified stones. I think they made at least a decent chunk of money, but you actually have to be skilled to do setting, all that type of stuff, CAD, or I feel like a lot of people cut corners too there recently in terms of going and having a manufacturing company. They didn't do that because, I mean, they got talent. The people who did it. And then, too, a lot of stuff, in my opinion, just looks bad altogether. Oh my god, this is annoying. I'll place third. But yeah. To me, gaming, I don't think gaming is bad, but gaming's gotten worse over the years. And me and my boy was just talking about that. Within the last 4 years, basically, since the COVID pandemic, gaming was at its pinnacle, at its best, at its peak. No one had anything to do. But also, too, at the same time, there was no direction. I feel like people's creativity got a whole lot better, in my personal opinion, during the lockdown. People made more money, in a sense. Companies made more money during the lockdown because they used already known flaws or whatever new opportunities had, and they used it to their advantage, like Amazon. Amazon made more money in the pandemic and lockdown than pretty much the average place. Malls and stuff went out of business. This, that, and the third. They had so much infrastructure. It really weren't affected that much by but the mall and everything. People didn't know how to open, but Amazon was just wide open. You know, they control aircraft. They have their own type of freights or carriers. They have so many ways to how you consume and how you use Amazon. I feel like Amazon's good, but Amazon can also be crap at the same time. Like buying an Amazon crafted, doggone branded product from Amazon is just crap. Like buying Amazon cord is just some crap. But I feel like that's neither here nor there. I mean, a lot of these companies or whatnot, people know that for the most part their stuff is terrible. Like, let's say Apple known that they basically have had to make like a USB, a new USB Lightning port for a while. UK, they basically had to make a get around with the thing, how they had to have that little extension, that little fast charge thing, where it has basically both jacks things. You can plug in the computer and you can plug in there, and you go from there. They did a simple fix, but I mean, their research design for that had to be pretty solid. And then too, for the most part, like a lot of people will also say, for the most part, with Amazon and certain stuff like that, oh, you can't beat the 2-day delivery. I would agree to disagree with that one. And then too, like, let's say, back to pretty much anything. With the luxury watch market, this, that, and the third, it's like a $20 billion industry. So, the jewelry industry, for the most part, I think people can get good deals and steals. Sure. Manufacturing jewelry is another story. Like, if you're not an actual jeweler or whatnot, you send out some work or you contract it out, a lot of stuff is just not the same. Like, if I go out here and buy a watch, particularly, with everything that there is out there, like let's say someone wants a service for a watch, it doesn't go to Rolex or something like that, the balance wheel and everything. I try to wind my watch. it wasn't from an actual watchmaker, someone who's worked with brands over the years, you know that watch would never function the way you basically originally had it. And that's a quality control issue. Now, and again, I don't make excuses for people, and then, it is what it is for the most part. Dashikabi. Let me think about too some of the stuff going on. Like I said with the watches, or even people going out there to get a ring repair. A ring repair is not no $600. The max I think a ring repair should cost, realistically for the time and all the stuff, I feel like it needs to be around $150. To me, that's just fair. I'm not going to crack people's side of the head. Like, if I quote the price is the price. I'm not going to crack people's side. I'd rather make my money through volume. I'm actually working for my money. And not just charging people what I think something is, or come back and tell people, I'm not playing games with people. I actually eschew people who actually try to go and abhor, rather, people who actually try to go out here and say that, we're being more transparent, or we're doing this, that, and the third. A lot of stuff is not transparent. Like, let's say someone goes and, particularly they do business with a place, they've been known to do something for years, they'll use them in the past. People quote you one price, and then all of a sudden the price has gone up by, a few $100s. I don't like people who do that. The price is the price. If I quote it, I hold myself to it. No questions asked. Like, a lot of these people with these watches, like, people are talking about, I'm not paying $6,000 for a no-name watch brand. Like, someone said that they sell fine Swiss watches. So I looked at this watch is crap. A lot of these people say they start calling stuff crap, but if that's what it is, it's not worth no $6,000. Or you're paying $20,000 more to something that's already list. Like, certified pre-owned from these places doesn't mean anything at all. Like, a 116-508 John Mayer Daytona is not going for no $88,000. That watch is going for like 67. What? Where is this guy even at? I didn't even see that guy. But I got one more for y'all, pretty much. That watch is not even going for that. So realistically speaking, anybody who's trying to go and say particularly, this is worth this, we're signing this rating, we have a certified pre-owned. Certified pre-owned doesn't mean that much if you're not an authorized retailer. And the secondary market determines, like I said, the validity of a primary market, if there's even a market at all. Like a no-name brand, I would support a no-name brand. It just depends what they're doing. It's not always about the stuff. It's also about people's level of talent. Like, if someone goes and create like a repertoire and a watch or something like that, like FP Jorn FP Jordan was not like necessarily the most sought after watch brand. They only make like 800 watches a year, and by the time you get it, it's sold out. But if you're part of a club or a group of watch collectors, you'll be able to get up in that priority list, but you have to spend money. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You got to spend money with the brand to definitely even get in top inside that club or get invited to events. But the perks and the benefits have nothing to do with the money itself. It's more that you're supporting, you know, the research and design of certain things. And for the lack of better words, for a lot of these companies like Norcane, let's see, watches that are not necessarily even on anybody's radar. Nomos doesn't make that bad of a watch. I think I'll own a Nomos as a beater watch. It's like $2,000, but I would never spend more. I'm not paying $5,000 for something that's really worth $2,000. And there's no way, like, you know, I think my watch collection, when I finally get to where I need to be at, is going to be good, beyond good. There's not going to be a price tag limit on it, but I worked hard for it. But at the same time, if we think about it, there's good watch brands. I would say Panerai is one of those. They're good $5,000 watches. No one really would know that it's $5,000 because it comes from a leather strap. People don't know what Panerai really is, and Panerai's kind of become a laughing stock in the watch community. But I feel like it's great value. You can get a Panerai from anywhere between $3,500 to $5,000, and even still, there's some limited edition stuff for this, that, and the third, and it's been out for a while. Like they have a Panerai Navy SEALs edition. I think it's like between 44 millimeters and 47 millimeters. It's a black watch. And I think it comes with its own caliber or whatnot. And for the price, it has a lot of resale factor. People can get it for like around $12,000 and make a good $8,000 off of it. But at the end of the day, I don't think that that's something that me in particular I would necessarily buy. I'm just cool with the basically a stainless steel with a khaki leather band, and I'm perfectly cool with that. Nothing more, nothing less. For a great price of $3,500, you can't beat it. Some stuff is crap, and I have to say it's crap because that's what it really is. You have to assign the rating of crap to something when it's really crap, or you just say it's not for me. Sometimes you have to be neutral with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, it is bad. No doubt about it. Why would anybody pay $8,000 for something, and, you know, when it's really the retail market, or let's say, for instance, the market goes for around $3,500. I can name a few brands that basically do that. Tag Heuer, Breitling, let's see. IWC is not a bad watch brand. I would definitely buy IWC. But I would only buy like a Portugueser. It was pretty good. But I want to emphasize that watches and certain stuff like that, it's not about what you pay. It's about what the value, assigned value is to it. Retail doesn't always tell the story or the market collectability. Like, someone could kick themselves in the foot for not basically buying a Rolex Daytona in 2011, right when you could buy it for like $8,000, and now the market price is around $23,000. So realistically speaking, you're not going to get $23,000. You might get around 20 to 21, and that's fair. The dealers have to make money, but the one person I will say that's kind of made jewelry and sort of some laughing stock is I would say Rick from Hardcore Pawn. I find it funny. He's funny. I wouldn't beat people beside the head at all. I'm just honest. Like someone needs custom jewelry or certain stuff like that, I'll be the number one go-to guy. But like again, like I said, at a certain point, yeah, there's just no doubt about it. Like I feel like Singapore or certain stuff there's certain stuff for people to do. Like there's no crime in Singapore. You don't have to worry about getting robbed or cracked beside the head. And the punishment stuff is harsh for people going out here and doing stuff or they've been problematic, and I'm perfectly fine with that. That needs to be the standard. Like, I like people who rule with iron fists, but they're really making it easier for people to get along very well. Like, if you work hard, you just have to choose an industry and just know your skill set and then build and grow on that. A lot of people, for instance, a lot of people are basically short-sighted. Basically at the end of the day, it's better to play the long-term game, because once you're short-sighted, you don't get the bigger picture. You'll settle for crap. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that's been out for the last 2 years has been synonymous with crap. And I can't emphasize that enough or elaborate on it. Like, we want people to believe in a system where we're basically preaching education, this, that, and the third, or saying that, the economy is strong. The economy is not necessarily as strong as it needs to be, for one. We need some gradual improvements, but we have to have a lot of stuff. We have to have conversations about microeconomics, macroeconomics, and economies of scale. Like, a lot of people will go and say certain stuff, or we use premium stuff. Everybody's calling a premium, putting premium, like the label premium on something, on a product that's not so premium. The premium doesn't exist. Like, or even everybody's talking about a price increase. People getting laid off from their jobs, left, right, front, and center. And people are saying people are not working hard. Well, let's face the reality here. With a lot of these jobs, a company's profitability has everything to do with their employee skill set. And I cannot emphasize that enough. A lot of stuff has to do with the employee skill set. And for the most part, I think a lot of people have a skill set. It just depends. I can't be a great dictator of that. A lot of stuff has to be, front and center. I can't expect people out here, at certain stuff, is not even in the job description or the details inside. Like, you're laying out the ground map. A lot of places, they're saying this, that, and they know they can't meet it. Or this, that, and the third, like the market. And let's just say a market for certain stuff like that. I think it's very unrealistic for people to necessarily go out here and emphasize people to go and have all these different certifications, this, that, and the third. They know they can't meet what they have. And you have certain people, I'm not going to say they're clueless, they're just there. They're just there for whatever reason. And I mean, they play the game well. And so sometimes these games don't need to be played. That is my emphasis on certain things. The game does not need to be played. And we're not playing no games. A lot of stuff is gimmicky. People say a lot of stuff and move the lampposts. Or move the goalposts, really. And they know they can't meet it. They require certain stuff, but they know they can't meet it. It has nothing to do with pay, either. A lot of stuff doesn't have anything to do with pay. A lot of stuff to me has to do with a lack of opportunity and advancement. And then also, too, people are devaluing their brand across the board. and then their response to certain things does not make any sense. They're unable to elaborate and expound upon what they just said, and they make themselves look bad, real bad, beyond bad. And a lot of people don't want to have these conversations. They give a very vague, very bland response of what's going on. Like they say, like for instance, a restaurant. You serve someone some beef medallions, and someone said medium well, and they got rare. Number one, eating the food at a certain point. If I ask for medium well, you don't know the difference between well, rare, all this type of stuff. You're gonna have a problem. And we don't have standards set in place to a certain extent, and you don't have anybody holding people accountable across the board. A lot of stuff is going to be allowed to run amok. And when stuff runs amok and there's no standard or anybody holds people accountable across the board and hold themselves accountable, these issues are going to be profound, and you basically devalue your brand across the board. And oftentimes, a lot of people, they have to spend a lot of money to get things right, and then the dynamic is off. It will forever be off. And number one, why a lot of stuff will be off is particularly key and critical people have left. A lack of cross-training and a lack of professional development training, this, that, and the third, are going back to the drawing board. People want people to buy into a system, but they know they can't meet it, nor can they require it. So at the end of the day, my point is, particularly with across all industries, is when are people going to have this conversation and then just stop trying to be blind to it before time really tells. You can't outrun time, and then certain stuff is going to be more profound over time. Problems or certain stuff like that. And then a lot of places across the board have had to fight to even have their doors open or question their existence of being, even in business as long as they were. You've had businesses, not necessarily saying they weren't profitable. You had, let's say, restaurants that had black cooks, for instance. Let's say their number one cook got sick or something like that, which is very possible. I'll give you an example. A lot of people don't see how I come up with examples and facts, like a restaurant called Izola's. They recently closed, and I think their business and the people there were very nice, so there's no real problem with that, this, that, and the third. They were able to cash out, and guess what? Move on to something new, enjoy retirement. They have been cooking food for the last 30 years, running and managing a restaurant with fried chicken, macaroni, cheese, this, that, and for the price, for sure it was a steal, and I'm pretty sure they're making money off volume, but after that cook got sick, and recipes, this, that, and the third, the husband and wife had to basically go back to the drawing board and change the menu. And again, they could only continue to run that thing for so long. And I think the main problem is a lot of people not training people. There's no succession plan. And I feel like if you have no succession plan or no line of precursors or successors, guess what? You're not going to really have a great form of leadership at all. And a lot of people are not having these conversations at all. So by the time, a lot of people don't want to have a conversation before. But at the end of the day, a time will come where basically people will need to have had that conversation and how they will manage, this, that, and the third. A dreadful day where either the business is in dire straits or, someone's health or this, that, and the third in the final days before they transition on to different things, or guess what, they want to transition in the natural sense and in the supernatural sense, in a sense, basically. And that makes any sense. So we'll think about that one. Like, they leave their the earthly realm. So end of the day, anything they had, affairs that they had, and what they lay out in their will or otherwise, or how they want their business to be taken over, or if a family wants to continue to keep this legacy alive, or they just want to cash out or do whatever they want to do, people don't have these conversations, and then at the end of the day, they don't want to have them. But these are realistic life scenarios, and people don't have them. And then, at the end of the day, it's just life, it's unpredictable. A lot of stuff is unpredictable, but the only thing we can do is just pray, stay healthy, keep our mental health in check, definitely keep our mind and our thoughts in the right place, and then, just be neutral on a lot of things, and then basically address certain stuff with grace and certain stuff like that, and be able to move a certain type of way, and know that there's nothing more oftentimes we could do, and basically address things in a healthy way. Have hope. And be mindful. What? These guys are cheating. I got cheating. I'll play one more. God, I'm not necessarily through. Yeah, that guy's teaming. That guy's teaming. Another problem that I got in terms of like business and business sense that people have is just the lack of awareness of certain stuff like going in the world or whatnot. Like the statement of cash flows. Anybody who's going off of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, that's all great, but how is money being spent? What is a marketing budget? What do you basically plan on how things will go in a particular market? I'm out I'll play one more. I'll play one more and I'm for sure getting off. What are some other things I do not like about the watch business or any other type of business that I would say? Number one, I also say for the most part, a lot of these restaurants and businesses or these enterprises, they do not value good customer service or good interpersonal skills or whatnot. I don't think a lot of that to do with communication skills. I mean, I feel like problem solving is also another issue. Some people have more problems than they do money, and some people have more money than they do problems. I mean, it's a never-ending cycle. But at the end of the day, like if someone has a lot of cash on hand, let's say like a Michelin star restaurant, places can lose their Michelin star restaurant. I will possibly never eat at a Michelin star restaurant, and I really don't care too. It's not really do with being cheap. It's just not my style or certain stuff like that. I might eat at one that is not definitely a priority right now. I feel like another thing is people who focus on the craft of cooking are really talented. where a lot of people just raise their prices and they know they're serving up crap. Did the Ricky on him. Oh my God. Another thing I'm still thinking about too is just the lack of, I chose, like someone asked me why I chose jewelry. I said I chose jewelry because of jewelry arts. I think there's a lot of arts that go into it. I don't have the textbook thing, but I know I definitely do the work of a lot in a short amount of time. Watch some watch videos after this. And or I'm gonna watch some 8 jewelers. I really don't know, but for the most part I think I okay, I'm not even that far. Hold on a second, I gotta go. My mouth bleeding. I didn't realize.